construct a perpendicular bisector using just an ordinary compass. And first up, let's define what a perpendicular bisector is. Okay, first up, bisector means to cut into two equal parts. So a perpendicular bisector is a line that cuts a line segment into two equal parts. Okay, also where it cuts that line at the line segment is going to be the midpoint. So it's a line that cuts a line segment into two equal parts at the midpoint. And the next thing is that where it intersects the midpoint, the two lines will be 90 degrees. And that's what perpendicular means. Perpendicular means two lines that are 90 degrees. Okay, so those are the two main things. Perpendicular means 90 degrees. Bisector means to cut into two equal parts. And it hits that right at the midpoint. Okay, so let's show you how to do it with one of these. All right, so our first example here, I've got my line segment right here, and I'm going to want to construct a perpendicular bisector. First up, get the compass and set it for anything over halfway the line segment. So that's too short, and that's too long. So anything over halfway. And what we're going to do here is we're going to center on the end point, one of the endpoints, hold your compass, and we're going to draw a big arc that goes through the line segment like that. We're going to keep the same radius, not changing that, center on the other endpoint, and we're going to do it again. And what you'll get is this oval type thing, and that's what we want, because these points right here, these points of intersection of my two arcs, are what we're going to connect. That makes the perpendicular bisector. So I rule these points up carefully, draw my line, and what I have constructed is a line that cuts this segment in half, hits it at 90 degrees. I'll make that segment equal to that segment, and if I want to call this M for a midpoint, I can. Okay, so what I've just shown is that line segment AM is the same length as line segment MB, and also that the angle, let's call this point up here, let's just make it C so I can talk about that angle. Angle CMB is going to equal 90 degrees. Okay, so that's the pink line. This is the perpendicular bisector. Okay, now for example 2, what we're going to try to do is we're going to draw a big triangle, take up a whole page, and we're going to try to construct the perpendicular bisector of every side of that triangle. Make sure you make it big. Okay, here's my triangle, label the points, and now what I'm going to do is construct the perpendicular bisector for each line and see what they look like. Now, move your page around if you need to. So I'll start with this line segment right there. Set the compass for more than halfway and do those two arcs. So this one might be kind of big. There's going to be a lot of overlapping. There's one arc, and I move it to the other endpoint at R, and I keep going until those two arcs intersect. Okay, and remember now I connect those 2 points right there. There's my bisector for RS, and I'll highlight it so it doesn't look like a side of the triangle. Moving along to the next side, I'll do ST, and if you want to move your paper around, just do it. It doesn't matter. That old radius was too big, so set it for anything that's more than halfway. There you go. Draw the two arcs carefully. And there's one and the other one. Start at the other endpoint. And I look for these 2 points, here and here, and I draw the line. And my last side is RT, this side right here. I might go off the page with my arcs here, but I'll try it anyway. So I'll position the paper. Let's see. Set the radius for something over halfway. That looks about right. And I draw one arc. Oh, it's getting kind of messy. Keeping the same radius. swing it over to the other endpoint, draw my other arc. I've got a lot of arcs here, but I think I can remember which ones are which. I got that point right there, and that point right there. And if I rule this up, I should have all three perpendicular bisectors meeting at one point inside the circle. Let's see how accurate I was. Spot on. Okay, so all my bisectors meet at one point inside the circle. Each bisector hits it at a 90-degree angle, so all three of those are 90 degrees, and it cuts each side of the triangle into equal parts. Okay, and so that's how you construct a perpendicular bisector of a line segment, and we can do some other examples later on. Good luck.